Mm.
Us and 8 million.
Hello
Us and
and
8 million
welcome to
other
another
people.
edition of the Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, the Professor Russ Stevens, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's JP's first son, Tim Hope. Oh, we have another great show for you tonight. So, boys, let's get started. Now, I made a vow that all summer we're starting with the Boston Celtics.
All
When
right.
we have a world championship team, they
You got
get
to enjoy it.
attention for a long time. Would you guys agree? That's where we
Yes.
start. Okay. And
I
we always
like it.
start with
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
bathe
go
in
with the
that for
winner.
a while. Right.
Russell. We're bringing the band back.
Yeah.
All the guys they brought back were contributors to a championship. Would you have liked to have seen some new blood, or are you fine with bringing back the band?
Well, they got a rookie who seems to be a kind of guy who could play, if not a lot in year one, then in year two. So there's one new guy. They didn't have the ability to do it. I mean, they're in the second apron. They don't have a mid-level exception. All they have is draft picks and basically minimum contracts. So
And,
there wasn't a lot they could do.
Russ, this draft pick, he's like 24 anyways, right?
23, yeah, he's older. Like he's
Yeah.
3 years older than Jordan Walsh.
Yeah, he's not a kid just coming out of high school. You know what I mean?
No,
Mm.
no.
That's what they
So,
wanted to. That you're seeing that in
Yeah.
Major League Baseball too now. They want more and more guys that have some experience in college because it's such a hit and miss now when you're taking 18 and 19-year-olds and putting them in a pro level.
But
Yeah.
usually there's been a lot of turnover with the Celtics. If you look back just a few years ago, with the 2021 Celtics, there's only two guys left from that. The two obvious ones, the Jays. Everyone else is gone.
Excuse me.
The Williamses, Marcus, everybody.
Well, Al Horford was a little bit of a retread for
Well,
him.
he was on the Sixers then.
Came
Tim.
and went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously, look, lots of talk about the locker room, Timmy. Just everybody blended so well, and they wanted to keep that same positive energy moving into the new season. And Brad Stevens took care of all of the.
Well, I will say one thing. When you're winning, life is good, right?
Yeah.
Everybody is friends when you are winning. I've been on winning teams. I've been on losing teams. The vibe, your girlfriend's pretty. Everyone gets prettier girlfriends when you're winning. When you're
Yeah, right, that's right. Yeah.
you're going for the second tier. When you're winning, you're getting the first tier. So it's easy to have a great vibe in a locker room when you have the season like they had. It's when adversity hits, that's when it cuts. But they have steadying forces in there. They have the Drew Holidays of the world. They have as we all talk about, D. White was the turnaround point for this team was when they got D. White a season and a half ago.
Joe.
By the way, Baylor Shireman played 162 college games.
Wow. Wow.
162 college games.
That's the kind. That's NBA seasons.
It's 2 NBA seasons, exactly.
Yeah. That's
NBA
like 6
seasons.
years in the minors.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, I mean, you'd think he'd contribute at some point.
Joe, we didn't really see it. When healthy, there really weren't any weaknesses in this team. This was one of the greatest Celtics teams in the history of their franchise. So,
oh yeah,
really
they were number one in offensive efficiency in history, and this year they were number two only to Minnesota on defensive efficiency. They were, far and away the best team from start to finish.
And then the season ends, and all of a sudden it seems they immediately go to the summer league, and we're going to be kicking into a new season real quickly. So it really is just a continuation.
I think tomorrow starts the summer league.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just keep the same vibe. Luke Cornett, what kind of role does Luke Cornett play in Al Horford's now year 38? I feel like Luke Cornett's probably going to see a lot more minutes, especially with KP.
Yeah, I think you're going to see.
January.
Yeah, I mean, so what's great about what they did, and I didn't expect it, I figured either Luke Cornett or Xavier Tillman would be back. By bringing them both back, not only do you have protection against KP being out until like December or January, whenever he comes back, but you also, in Tillman, you got a guy who can play for Horford. you can keep Horford's minutes down. So if you can keep Horford's minutes down and play Cornet and Tillman enough, then honestly, by the time that KP gets back, this is the kind of injury that it's not like an ACL or a joint injury. He should be pretty fresh. I mean, he's only going to play 35 regular season games, KP.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And look,
And
Right.
on another benefit, now Tillman's getting more time, more
And Tillman's
experience.
getting time, and Cornet is totally Timmy. That's exactly
And we're
right.
finding out if Tillman, they want everyone on this team shooting threes. We're going to see if Tillman can do that, right? Keep the spread going.
Yep.
Yeah, and Tillman's
Exactly.
a young guy too. What's he, 24, 25?
Yeah,
yeah.
I think he's about 25. Yeah.
A
Why
year
would
older than
Al-
our draft. A year older than our draft pick.
Right, so there's
Right.
plenty of room for him to grow too. And especially when he's going to get a lot of reps with KP out.
Why would Al retire? He's going to play half the year. He plays the
Yeah.
playoffs. He makes what
Yeah.
$1 million a year, whatever he makes.
Yeah.
I
Six,
mean,
I think.
this is
Yeah.
it's a nice gig for him. And again, I say it every week. When Tillman's on the court, I think Al's on the court. They literally look alike. They have
Yeah.
They both have that, they can play on the ball. But did you notice that Al has put his Brookline mansion up for sale?
Well,
Yeah. My guess is this probably Al's last year, because at that point in time, if he wants to stay with the Celtics are going to probably only be able to offer him a minimum.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Al, we'd love for you to. It's like the Tim Wakefield contract. Like,
Yeah.
we'll pay you $4 or $5 million, but that's it.
Oh wow! Did he address why he was selling the house? And we don't.
No,
like
I just saw it. Geez, it's a nice looking place when you, after the show, take a look, on Zillow or something.
What street is it on?
Oh, it must be in South Brookline somewhere. Didn't give an address.
Oh, okay.
It because they didn't want 1 million people taking
Is he in the
driving by.
Is he in the country club neighborhood? TCC.
He might be, or he might be in the Chestnut Hill neighborhood.
Yeah. So I live in North Brookline, which is clearly the other side of the tracks. Thanks for letting me know that, Joe.
It's not whiskey. It's not Whiskey Point.
And now you had the point, right? Exactly.
Even though
I'm
Pill
sure
Hill's pretty pricey too, though. Which is
Yeah,
only
that's
up
for
to
sure.
Whiskey
Corey,
Point.
Corey Hill's getting there. All right, look, Pritchard. To me, again, Pritchard. If you wanted to make a trade, if something came up right now, Pritchard's the guy I would not be shocked to go.
Yeah, but you remember, that's $7.5 million. What are you going to get? Are you going to get somebody better than Peyton Pritchard for $7.5 million in the NBA today?
Probably not.
The Celtics are in the
Probably
second
not.
apron. They cannot take
They can't
back
take a dollar more. And they can't combine Pritchard and Cornet and get somebody for 10.5.
No.
They can't take a dollar. They can take Pritchard, and if he's making 7.5, they can trade Pritchard for a guy who makes 7.5 or below, not a dollar over. That's it.
Because they're in
Professor,
that tax bracket.
What are they paying in penalties? What will they pay next year?
Oh my God! This year, I think it's. I had it.
150 million.
No,
Over
not.
100 million?
I don't think this year's is bad. I think it. Yeah, it might.
Well, I
it
don't
might
think
be
we
like
were
a-
in the second apron this year.
No, we are. We're
Yeah.
going to be in the second apron this year. It's
This
the
year, yeah.
next year, Timmy. It's going to be $220 million in basically tax on top of
On
whatever
top.
on top. Yeah.
Wow.
And in 2 years,
Yeah.
it could be 350 million. Actually,
they're
pay
never getting
more in
there.
taxes than you pay in
Yeah.
salary.
Well, they'll do that next year, Joe. They're going to pay more if they go through this year. They'll I think that's 100 million in taxes or whatever. If they go to 25, 26,
Yeah.
then it's going to be 2 something,
Yeah.
and it's all that'll be more than the salary cap.
Is Brissett? What's the deal with Brissett? Is he leaving?
I mean, if he wants to come back, they've got one spot available, right?
Yeah.
They took two guys out. They added Shireman in. So Svi and Brissett are gone. They added the rookie in. They got 14 guys. My guess is they'll just carry 14 guys to keep the finances in check.
I think Brissett wants to play somewhere. He gets
I don't
no
think-
time here. That's all.
There's no real place for Brissett. He just
No.
can't shoot
No, he was
on our team.
had a couple.
Well, he was a good energy guy when
Yeah.
they were in the doldrums to bring him in there rebound, make a defensive play, and get it going in transition. But you're right, he couldn't shoot to save his life.
So in other words, we need a very, very, very wealthy person to buy this team.
Yes,
Yes.
that's right, Tim.
Well,
Like
that
a
was
Jeff Bezos type of guy.
that's a great
Yep.
segue into our next topic. Wick Grossbeck owns what, Joe? 2% of the team.
1.5%.
Oh my god!
But that's all the Grossbeck children own 1.5, and Daddy Irv owns the bulk.
How did that never come out after all these years?
Because Wick portrayed himself as the owner. He was the he never came out and said, "I am the owner." People introduced him as that, and he never said no.
I mean, remember, he was the team governor, and whoever's the team governor is just considered to be the guy making the decisions. And there's probably a bunch of team governors who don't.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. He represented his family.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
But just
Right.
very interesting that Dan Shaughnessy of all people came out with this information.
I know,
I love
right?
Dan. I freaking love Dan Shaughnessy, man. Did anyone see his I hate to digress. Anyone see his BNBL article this week?
I have to read it. It's on my list, Tim.
Oh my! I played BNBL growing up. It was like the greatest thing in history. Little did I know the guy talking to us after the games was Dan Shaughnessy.
Is that right?
Oh, God, that's funny.
That was his first. He got called. He had been trying to get on with the Globe, and they hired him. And someone got sick or something, and Natalie, they hired him to come and cover the BNBL games, which were Fallon Field and Walsh Park. And we had this goofy reporter there pull up in a Globe car, asking us questions after the game.
That's
The curly red hair.
Oh my God! I'm surprised he left there alive half the time. But everybody wanted their name in the paper, so you talked to him.
So
There was a chance you might.
But
Like
no
his
one
name.
knew Herb Grossbeck even existed until he got that nugget out. And,
No. I
is-
remember when they bought the team. The father was front and center, and
Was he?
Yeah,
I
he
don't
was the
remember that.
money guy. Because he was,
Yeah. And he must be a fairly famous guy out in Northern California. He's been a professor at Stanford for God knows how many years, if he's 90.
Well, he made his money with Continental Cablevision, I believe. Right? He was a big part of that.
Well,
Putting cable on the map.
does Pagaluka buy the team? You think?
You have the money?
I
You
think
have that
so.
kind of dough?
Yeah.
I think he's got the dough, or he's got the backing anyways.
Yeah, I would imagine he'll bring some people in, but that's what you hope would happen, right? Keep the team conformity of the team and the ownership.
But Scott, you're gonna need deep pockets.
Well, that's why they have to bring in investors. Clearly, they have to get.
But I don't even know
Because
if
you're
that-
inheriting a real big bill when you buy this.
so-
Not only are you in pushing in all your chips just to buy the thing, you're inheriting, like Russ was explaining about the tax situation, which you're also inheriting.
Who
I don't even know if
negotiated
just
that deal? I don't.
Wait. I don't know even know if an average billionaire could afford to sustain the Celtics. Like, you need one of these guys who are like in the top 20 in the world kind of guy to sustain if we want to keep things the way they are. Somebody
Yeah, I
could write
wish
that
Steve
$100 million
Ballmer
check.
hadn't bought the Phoenix Suns. He'd be perfect for here.
Yeah.
The Clippers. But yeah, no, I
No,
understand.
Clippers,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Look, needless to say, I don't know what system they set up. Was it the most recent CBA? Because this luxury tax is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not great. Really, what the thing that the NBA is gonna really regret is the effect was it limited the amount of moves. It limited the movement. I mean, there's going to be a bunch of teams in the tax in the first and the second apron this year who can't do anything. So you're going to have like 6 teams in the NBA who can trade with each other.
Yeah,
that's not fun.
No,
where's the fun in that?
The trade rumors. That's the whole big buzz that they can keep that going year round.
Oh, they have had the best hot stove over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
They took it right away from baseball.
Now, Russ, was this tax apron put in after Golden State put that mega team together?
Well,
the whole thing was about stopping Golden State and the Clippers because those teams are owned by mega billionaires. So you say to Steve Ballmer, well, you're gonna have to pay 200 million in taxes, and he's got dozens and dozens of billions of dollars. That's like $5,000 for you and me, like it's not anything. So they had to put in, instead of just making them pay extra money, now you freeze draft picks.
Triple. Yeah.
You well, no, but it's the money, but it's also you can't trade your draft pick. It moves to the end of the round no matter what. You can't use a mid-level exception. You can't aggregate salaries. You can't do sign and trades. Now all of a sudden you're basically just putting teams in straitjackets and they say, you want to pay that money? Fantastic. You won't be able to make any moves.
Yeah.
That's stupid. And the money goes to obviously the poor franchises in theory, right? And obviously it trickles down to them too. So the teams that don't spend money get big fat checks. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, what they should have done, Scotty, was
what pool does the money go into, Russ? Like a cumulative pool?
It goes into the overall pool, right? And the players get 50. I think the players get 51% of all money.
Yeah, it's split 50-50.
sorry,
50-50.
Scott,
You know what they should have done? The right thing to do would have been to experiment and say, let's experiment with this for 2 years, see what happens, and then we'll tweak it. But they got the CBA goes for another like 4 years. It's gonna suck.
Look,
yeah,
super uber teams are what have always been successful in the NBA. And to try to stop that, it's just stopping the progress. And the NBA's made such progress and incredible TV contracts now. Why would you do this? It just doesn't make any sense.
You would think TV would really be against this. They like promoting a super team. Maybe they would like better competition than the NBA playoffs had this year, but they do like promoting a great team.
The issue is really, in my mind, you're penalizing a team like the Celtics who did it the right way. They drafted guys and they developed them, or they got them very young in their career. They did not assemble this team like a mega team. They bought Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
Right. That's it. That's the last piece. In a perfect world, you'd be able to say, all right, you can take Tatum's salary is not going to count 100% against the cap. It's going to count 50. Like, like motivate the teams to do what they should be doing, which is drafting and developing players, retaining your own players. Right.
Absolutely.
That's what they should have
make that like a corollary of the bird rights.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
one guy, someone you drafted and developed, you can pay more and count less against the cap.
Yeah, you shouldn't be penalizing teams for drafting and developing players.
Penalizing they sign as free agents and don't have to give up. But trades and draft picks and stuff, that's part of the GM, and that's how teams stand out is the management part.
Yeah, and the way you're able to trade is accumulating assets to trade. I mean, we didn't just trade nothing to get Porzingis. We had to give up some valuable stuff.
Absolutely. But I mean, I don't understand. Do you want Drew Holiday in the Hornets? How does that work for you, for the NBA? You know what I mean? I mean, where do you want these guys? You want these guys they were acquired? You don't want. Why should the Celtics have to get rid of their top players? I don't understand that.
Like, don't you think MLB would love it now if the Red Sox and the Yankees were just absolutely fighting it out for first place right now?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, two mega teams at the top battling it out, and
look at the NHL.
I think that would be good for baseball.
And look, Timmy, look at the NHL Stanley Cup. Edmonton against Florida. Are you kidding me?
I know. It was they had better ratings with the women's water polo.
I know. I mean, women's WNBA, they did better. I mean, it's absolutely ludicrous. And of course, we're doing this because we have a super team that we want to continue. But this really cuts Brad Stevens off at the balls moving forward. I mean, what is his job?
Yes and no.
It comes to a point he can't do anything.
Yeah, he won't be able to
cut everybody.
The fact of the matter is, the likeliest thing that's going to happen, and we all have to just get our heads around it, is at the end of next year, at least one of KP and Drew is gonna have to be traded. And probably one of those guys, if they re-sign Hauser, it'll be one of those two guys plus Hauser. and that'll at least get them back into a reasonable territory.
You know what I was
that's
thinking?
just it.
I was thinking in 2 years, one of the Jays goes.
No.
It could be that too, Timmy.
No.
Jalen might turn around and say, "We want another championship. If I want to, I want my own team," and then you deal him. It's entirely possible. I don't think they're ever trading Tatum.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. No, I think they would end up. KP's an easy one. You know, I mean, to be honest with you,
He's only a part-time player.
He's
But
the
anyway.
first
if your hands get so tied, though, those are the two biggest contracts in the NBA right now, right?
Possible.
In 2 years, your hands get so tied, and maybe we go through a little lull, and the chemistry's going a little bit wrong now, or whatever, and you can almost like
Yep.
add another 3 or 4 years with some young
Yep.
superstar or a horde of draft picks, almost like they did with our two guys that we traded our draft pick for, Pierce and
KG.
Yeah.
KG. You know what I mean? And you restock. I don't know. That's what I'm
Golden
thinking.
State is keeping their head out above water.
I don't know where the contracts in the next couple of years ago, but right now we have the two biggest in the NBA. It's almost unsustainable.
but it's ridiculous that we're talking like this. It's ridiculous that a team.
All I can tell you
they're
is
going to be small salaries going forward because they just signed the deal with the 3 companies for TV. And what is it? What is it? The deal going to be like $76 billion, Jim?
Yep.
In
That's
TV.
ridiculous.
receipts.
Everybody should be able to spend what they want.
So, Russ, is that going to jack the
markets.
cap way up?
Yeah, no, but what they did, unlike, you might remember when Golden State was able to sign KD, it was because they got a new TV rights deal and they took all the gains from the TV rights deal in year one, and the salary cap went way up. It was called a spike, and that's how Golden State, which was already expensive, was able to sign KD. What they did, Timmy, this time is they leveled it off, and they said it's only can go up. The salary cap can only go up 10% per year. So they capped it, and that they'll take those gains over time. And so it's going to go up, but it's not going to go up like it did in the past.
Now, are the players going to let that money sit on the table, though? I mean,
no, they get that money. No, they get that money. That 10% they get. Yeah, they get that money. Yeah, they get half of them. They get that media rights deal that you just saw go through. They get half.
Yeah, they're doing very well.
What they do, by the way, what they don't get half of, and this is the next shoe to drop, and Silver's already talked about this. Players don't get any money from new franchise fees, expansion fees.
Oh wow!
So that the NBA is going to add 2 franchises. They're going to make those poor people pay at least $2 billion. I bet you they make them pay like $2, $3, $4 billion each. That money all goes to the owners. The players do not get a cent of expansion money.
Now, do you think the price the Celtics sell for will have something to do with setting the price for a new franchise?
I would assume so. Yeah, I would assume so. I mean, Celtics sell for, if the Celtics get valued at $5 billion and they don't even own the building, arena, and they don't even own the building, right? And you come into Vegas with a team, I mean, they'll make you pay through the nose.
Wow. That's unbelievable. But they need a good product. And, having big city teams like the Celtics, the Knicks, and Lakers are very important for the franchise moving forward for that next TV deal.
Well, I tell you one thing, I hadn't even thought of this now that you brought it up. Imagine 2 years from now, they do an expansion draft, and you can only protect 6 guys, 7 guys.
Would it be 6?
Oh.
That'd be, I don't know. I mean, they're not going to allow you to protect 10. They're going to make it be
8,
maybe 7.
Yeah.
If I were them, if I were the NBA,
you know what? The owners aren't going to care because they're going to be dangling billions of dollars in front of them. They're going to be like,
and it might be like the NHL. Remember, all the NHL teams put their big money guys. They didn't protect any of the a lot of the stars. And Vegas ended up grabbing lots of good guys and ended up being the Stanley Cup champions 2 years into their existence.
I thought it was the first year, but would it be in NHL? What was it? How many did they protect? 10?
Quite a few, but they left a lot of all the teams left like a big contract they really didn't want pay. You know, the Pablo Sandovals of the world were out there for sure, but they put a lot of money.
Well, remember what they did. This was what I just looked it up, and the NHL did something very interesting. They said you could pick one of two things. You could
One
protect
goalie.
7 forwards, 3 defensemen, and 1 goaltender, or 8 skaters and 1 goaltender. Right, either forwards or the defensemen.
It's like Sophie's Choice, right?
But Timmy, what they did was they allowed those 2 expansion franchises. They allowed both of them to be good right away. Vegas won the
Yeah,
freaking
Kraken and Vegas
Stanley Cup in 2 years.
Right to the top of the line.
If I'm the NBA, I'm saying you get to protect 7 guys. 7. There you go. Pick your 7.
Instantly a good team. Instantly.
Yeah.
Not having to build, not like the old NHL days where the New York Islanders came in.
Oh,
and
the
took forever,
Flotsam and
or
Jetsam.
the Florida Golden, or the California Golden Seals, whatever.
All right, boys. We gotta go away from the Celtics because we have to go to the Boston.
Do we have to? Do we have to?
What are you talking
What?
about? I mean, really? Seriously, have you ever read a newspaper in the last month?
You know
What are you
my
talking
thoughts
about?
on. You know my thoughts.
No, you can't.
I
do
thought
that.
we'd won you over, Tim.
Timmy, well, you can't
tired,
do
I'm
that.
tired.
I thought that come from behind win against the Yankees would have
We're
brought you back
what are
over.
the Irish? The Irish, we only forget 2 things or something like that. I forget the old saying.
It took you years to forget that Jaron Duran said that thing about the fans. Is he still dead to you?
No, I'm giving him a mental illness pass.
Look,
Well, yeah, I tried to find, that shirt he can't wear on TV anymore that he always wore in every
Yeah.
interview.
F off, yeah.
It's sold out. You can only get it from his agent, and they're sold out.
Cora loves him, and look, it's incredible that the Red Sox, and it's not even a luxury tax thing, are not signing and paying Alex Cora a fair wage. At the very least, they got to make.
He's refused to negotiate with them, so it's a little bit.
If they offer him Craig Counsell money, which I think is about $9 million,
I'm sure they would.
So Scotty, you've had a checkered history with Cora. In all seriousness, what would you do? You want them to would you want them to give them a Craig Counsell contract?
Look, Alex Cora is a scumbag. I'll always say that. And, you can't get that. He should still be in MLB prison for what he did. But he's done a fantastic job this year. I don't think there's any manager who could have done a better job with this roster and the way the injuries and all that, and the way no backing by ownership.
Okay, are you going to answer my question or not? Are you going to answer my question?
I'd give him yes.
Yes, okay.
He deserves
Okay.
at minimum a 3-year, $9 to $10 million a year contract. Absolutely.
All right. Okay.
And then,
Who's going to give it to him? The Yankees?
yeah, look, I mentioned to you a few days ago.
I know, and now it's the talk of the town.
And I told
You
Joe.
said that a week ago.
I told Joe that no. I said, watch Red Sox. I love to trade managers and coaches. The Red Sox, I said in the deadline, should trade Cora to the Yankees for one of their top prospects.
Unfortunately, the Yankees are all out of top prospects. The cupboard's bare over there in Columbus.
Well, guys, let's do a little poll. Do you think if they offered Cora some big dough that he would not only listen, but he would take it?
Yes. Because the team's on the up and up. The team's on the rise.
But it's not we don't know. Remember, a lot of people would never rehired Cora when we did after the controversy with the Astros came out. So there's a lot of teams that probably would stay away from him based on that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
His track record is awful good. With
Right,
good
well-
teams, with bad teams. He's only got 1 championship, but he's been he's got the Astros championship too, but that's tainted. But he's done well with it. Given whatever he's been given, he's managed to make it better.
Well, we finished last place, Joe, last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
What was he making better?
Well, shining up, putting lipstick on a pig is pretty tough. Still, yes, it's still a pig.
But we can never believe what Sam Kennedy ever says. So, I mean, everything he talks out of two corners of his mouth. He can't tell the truth to save his life. I mean, all of a sudden they're saying that Henry's willing to spend at the trading deadline whatever he needs to do. Why are we to believe this?
Who said that?
Sam Kennedy a few days ago.
I'll believe that when I see it. I will believe that when I see it.
Same here.
Yeah,
Same here.
I'm not buying that for 1 minute. And actually, they made the metaphor. They want to stay in their lane. They've chosen a path. They want to stay in that lane. And I'm fine with that. If they want to just continue what they did in the offseason and sell at the deadline, fine. I think Slayton or Martin could be your closer if they have to get rid of Kenley. If O'Neill's gone, bring someone up from the minor leagues. I say continue what you were doing, and there is a plan to have a better team as a result of it.
Do you see in a million years the Red Sox going out and going on any kind of buying spree at the All-Star at the deadline? I mean, the trading deadline.
I don't think they're going to even. I don't really think they need to. They just need to get a starting pitcher and a right-handed bat, and you can do that fairly simple. You don't need a top starter.
You
not going to get
you
that.
can do that selling Kenley and O'Neill, and I wouldn't want to sell Pivetta because he does give you innings.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you, Joe. Pivetta, what is it? We're going to re-sign him, trade him? I mean, there has to be something. If you don't plan on re-signing Pivetta, you might as well trade him.
He is kind of schizophrenic. Look at yesterday's game. He has that terrible inning, and then he strikes out 8 guys in a row right after that.
Yeah, I don't know really what is Pivetta?
Streaky. He's the definition of a streaky pitcher, right?
Like my golf game. Like my golf.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Same here. I think he's probably in the end of the day a reliever, a 2-inning reliever, right? Who can go in and go full scale for 2 innings or something. My issue all along in this year is it's fantastic they're playing so well. The pitching's going to regress. It just is. These guys are going to become their baseball cards.
You've been right, because it has been.
It has been. Yeah.
Even though they've been winning the last couple of weeks, the pitching hasn't been there.
But what was it? How many days ago did Scotty Wright trade them all?
Well, I think he's of that mind, like I am.
No, but they lost 3 in a row. I think they lost 3 in a row, right? That was 2 weeks ago. Because I was not here last week, so it was 2 weeks ago, I believe. Scotty, you were high on them. They lost 3 in a row, and you said fire everybody.
So wait, did we say that Pivetta was schizophrenic or Scotty?
This is in a 2-week span, 14 days. Scotty went from we're gonna make it to get rid of everybody to
yes.
I said,
if they lose to the A's,
What changed?
If they lose to the
we
A's
lost
tonight.
3 in a row, and then now it's what are we tonight, Scotty?
No, but you see what happened.
Wait.
You see what happened.
You've been dodging the question.
You can be both, Tim. I'm ecstatic with the way they're playing, but I'm a seller. I want to sell, and I'm because this is definitely not going to be the year. If they make the wild card, big deal. It'll be like 2021. Maybe a couple of fun games at the end of the year. But
Joe, I got a question.
It doesn't mean anything.
Joe, I got a question for you.
Sure.
We didn't win a World Series here for 86 years, right?
Yeah.
And my God, were we invested in this team?
Yeah,
probably more so. Like when they finally won it, I lost something for some reason. You know what I mean? I was such a diehard. I just want to see stars out there, and we're in the conversation of being one of the better teams.
Yeah,
we're going years without that now. You know,
until 67, I suffered. They were in last place or next to last place every year, and that was in the old 10-team league.
All right, boys. I just sent you another link. We have to go to another link to finish the show. So we're gonna finish this one. We're gonna wrap this up, and I'm gonna say I just sent you a link. Go on, and we'll finish the show. All right, here we go.